The Feminine Pulse Show is a safe and nourishing space
for women who desire to explore their power
and dance with their divine masculine and feminine energies.
We invite you on a journey to embody your feminine,
manifest deeper connections,
and be a catalyst for a harmonious, loving world.
Welcome to the Feminine Pulse Show.
Today, we're going to dive into, are you ready to be in your feminine? You may have an inkling of what feminine means to you, and it's continuing to evolve. Now, are you ready? Are you ready for all the possibilities that feminine power brings to you?
Yeah, that is so beautiful. I think this topic about are you ready is really important. It is not about judgment or we need to jump on it right now, but it's just about where are you in your journey towards feminine power?
Yeah. And let's talk a little bit about why we're doing this. I mean, for me, it's about being able to come back with you right here in our community to get centered in our feminine, to have that safe place that we can cultivate that energy and inspire that feminine energy out into the world.
That's so beautifully said. Yeah, and I feel like that's what's missing, right? Like as women, we really want to be surrounded by feminine and feminine energy and feminine power. But one of my favorite quotes is, you cannot be what you don't see, right? And so by creating this community, we are seeing each other. We are seeing our own transformation and the transformation of others in front of our own eyes. And that allows us to see what's possible.
And I want to clarify that we do include men in this conversation because, like you were saying, it's a safe and it's a space where we can cultivate it. And we want men to see this too. And we welcome the support of men who support women and hold that space for women to be in their power and honor women as equal partners and want to see women flourish in the world alongside men. So it's all about bringing partnership and equality and the best of our feminine and masculine energies together. So I think today we can start talking about as well, like, what are the signs of when a woman is out of her feminine or they're unbalanced?
Yeah, great question. Well, one is the various signs that I've witnessed in my own life, and as well as a lot of the clients that are coming my way that wants to work and be on their feminine. I feel like the first one is that they have a very, very busy calendar. They just keep themselves super busy and no time for them to slow down. And so that's the main one that I see. There's that need for control of the time, control of everything that is happening. And then the second piece is that it really shows up in their body, right? Their body aches from being too rigid or stiff or tense. They are not able to flow their body, right? And then there is this element of fear and anxiety and overthinking, right? So I think that also stems from that need for control and the fact that they are guarded a lot. So a lot of them may say, I have a wall, right? Or I'm protecting myself, but that's just mean that they're in balance. And the main one that I hear a lot from women, they're like, I never hear my intuition. I don't even know it exists.
Wow.
They have zero control or zero connection with their body or feeling that they can hear their own intuition because they haven't practiced that. And then they start losing their own vibrancy, right? They just said, I lost my purpose. I lost my light. I just feel dim. So those are some of the signs that I've experienced and that I've seen women have. And yeah, very interesting ones, right? Because people think, oh, I'm burned out. But no, that's very different than you being burned out.
Well, it could be a sign of being out of balance and in the feminine, because if you put yourself on this exhausting treadmill on the calendar being stressed out, it's probably, you may be saying you're burned out, but you're also unbalanced and out of the feminine. And it may be these aches and pains in the body may be that sign to, oh, maybe I need to bring in something else. What I'm doing is not helping as much as I think it should. We're operating from this masculine energy of go, do, be, and then I'll feel relaxed and then I'll feel whatever. But maybe there's just another perspective and a new way of being to bring into it, right? So I love that when we identify these signs, I highly encourage you to embrace them. Like this is new information that you're seeing in a new way, and that you get to choose a new way of being. If you're using it to beat up on yourself, please stop. That's counterproductive, and we want you to honor all parts of you, and even the part of you that is trying to do its best and it's breaking down. It's showing you that, hey, you've got to do something else because I'm tired, I'm frustrated, I'm anxious, I'm tense, I don't feel my vibrancy, I want more joy. Good. Now, that's good when you can acknowledge it, because awareness is the first step in change, right?
Definitely, 100%. So, Laura, what do you think are the signs of people being ready to be in their feminine?
I think, first of all, that they recognize something's got to change, right? And that when they're actually in their feminine and to start stepping into it, they're willing to slow down. They may not get that they're willing, like it's kind of a lot of times doesn't make sense to us. Like, how is slowing down going to help me get more done? Right? So, but if you're willing to entertain us just for a moment here and say, you know what, maybe slowing down might be a remedy. Maybe I have to slow down to speed up later on, or obviously going faster and faster and faster isn't working. That's a good sign you're ready. If you're feeling your emotions really deeply at the moment, you're ready. That is a sign of being in the feminine. And whether they're positive or things that need to be are saying, hey, I need things to change, that's good. Feel your feminine language is your emotions and feelings. So that's messages from your soul that you're now honoring. And if you're willing to start and realizing that self-acceptance, self-love, self-affirmation, speaking nicely to yourself is needed, and you are ready. Anything else, Asma?
Yeah, all of those that you've shared are really very great signs that you are ready. Like, also, when you are curious, when you're starting to wonder, it's like, is there something better? Is there something else that I am missing? Is there something else I should be looking for? And when we're starting that inquiry, that inner inquiry, that shows that you are ready, because you are ready to journal, you're ready to reflect, you're ready to feel deeply, you're ready for your own self-love, self-conversation with yourself. So I think, that inquiry about there is more. There's more. I deserve more.
Yeah.
Like, let's explore that.
Yeah. So when you're ready to be really kind to yourself, and I like to say, if you've experienced all those signs you mentioned, Asma, about not being in the feminine, then you might realize you're actually in a very tender place, right? And we want to honor that. So here's what you can do to get into the feminine. Some things that I said is, first, simple, but can be very profound. Focus on your breathing and slow it down, but deepen it. So let's just all do that right now, because why not? Right?
There's no better time than the present moment.
Let's do a nice, slower, fuller breath in. And then as you're ready, emptying. And then notice what part of your body might want some more attention. So if there is a tense part or a part that needs a little more loving, you can put your hand on that part and then take a nice, slow, nurturing breath in, focusing in on that location. And then as you're ready, emptying out. Sometimes even sighing when you let go of that air is very nurturing. It's just saying, I'm paying attention to you. I'm being the caregiver of myself. And we can do that moment by moment. If you're on the freeway, sometimes I'll find myself, I'll be on my car and I'm like tense, and I'm like, I don't want to be tense in my car. I'm just gonna take the next stretch of road to slow even my car down just a little bit, and slow my breathing down a little bit, and just let my body relax into the car. I'm a better driver that way. I feel better on the road. People around me aren't as scared of me. That's really good, right?
I love that. That is a very simple but so practical and powerful tip, because it also brings you back to the present moment.
And
it's
really important when you're driving.
Yeah, right? You need to be like fully present. And I think it allows you to sit with your emotion and what your body's feeling. You're not putting it down. You're not like ignoring it. It's like, I need to keep myself busy. Just by taking that breath, and like you said, and connecting to what in your body you need more of that tenderness and more of that love, you are also like really connecting to your emotion and witnessing them and honoring them.
And that brings me to another thing, which is compassionate self-talk. If you're really hard on yourself, it's time to step up your awareness of that and see if you're willing to change it. And see if you're willing to take those whips and chains you use on yourself and put them in a drawer, and then lock that drawer. And it's to the best of your ability. Again, don't beat yourself up for not doing it at the very least. Say, I'm willing to be kind to myself. And a good practice with that is, what can you praise yourself for today? For getting out of bed, for getting a shower, for thinking positively about somebody. It could be the littlest thing, for coordinating an outfit today, for putting on your sneaker with the intentions of exercising, right? Like, yay, I did it. Maybe tomorrow I'll actually exercise, So who knows? And maybe you'll do something even better, but give yourself credit for every little thing. There are people out there who can't do what you can do, and you can give yourself credit, and you want to keep yourself in the willing and able state. So everything matters. Everything kind you can do for yourself matters. I promise it'll spill over to other people too. So what you do for yourself that's good is good for everyone. So, and nice little thing. It's good for me. It's good for all concerned. That is one of the feminine power cards, actually, that I have. I think I'm paraphrasing it, but that compassionate self-talk, if you can kick that up a notch, that's like, woo, a very good step in readying yourself for being in that feminine. And it's actually being in the feminine, right?
Yes.
You want to go over one more? Another one?
Yeah, for sure. I think for me, like, one of the best ways to get into your feminine is to dance.
Yes.
Your body, mostly those hips.
Yeah.
We get so much of our emotions stuck in our hips, and just like moving our hips, or just doing big circles, or putting any music that we feel our body needs to hear that moment. It could be a slow music, or it could be like, let's go and then rock and roll, like anything that really sparks a joy for you, and just move your body and just fully feel it, right?
Yeah, I think at one of our club, you just gave me an idea. One of our future club dates should be, we should have some dance time. Maybe we'll put like 15 minutes of dance time in our club sessions here, even though we're only going to go for like 20.
Yeah, no, that's definitely like a big one. And I think my second one to be in your feminine is to add pleasure in your life. Little pleasures. So one of the tips that I give my clients, I say, create pleasure alarms.
Ooh, cool.
So get your phone to ring like 3 times or 4 times a day. And when it rings, do something that indulge yourself in something. Maybe it's having that little chocolate, and maybe it's having that glass of wine. Maybe it's going for a walk in nature. whatever that brings joy for you and gives you pleasure, like start to have that connection to your own pleasure, how you can add more pleasure in your life, and starting with you.
And I've even, and I think it's also an awareness thing for pleasure. So when that alarm goes off, even if it's taking a drink of water or your favorite tea, enjoy it, taste it, choose the water that you love or the healthy drink that you like and savor it. There's something in the feminine that brings out our juiciness in life when we can like we were saying, slow down. But people are like, what does that mean? It doesn't mean not doing anything. It means bringing more presence to what you're doing that you like doing, right? So being mindful and like, okay, I'm going to, instead of talking and eating through my whole dinner, I'm going to take a few minutes to actually taste this food and maybe slow down with the taste of the food or prepare something that I really am going to enjoy a little bit more. To that, one of my suggestions is try saying no to the next request that you receive that you really don't want to do. Like it could be somebody asking you to do a favor. And, no is a complete sentence.
And that's my favorite quote. That's my favorite quote from Jane Fonda too. Yes.
And if you have to say something else, you can say no, thank you. No, thank you. It may sound awkward, but I remember somebody, and here's a way you might practice it, and it's adding grace to your life. If you're, you see somebody begging for money or they're asking for a donation or whatever, you can just look them in the eye and say, no, thank you. And it feel like you're taking care of yourself. You honor them at the same time that they're doing something good too. If they're working for an organization that they're trying to raise money for. So there's also something in saying no that is, a lot of times we're afraid of missing out. They call it the FOMO. If we say no to an event, a party, a this or a that. But I invite you to say no and go for the JOMO, which is the joy of missing out. So what can you do instead that you're going to enjoy so much better? Is it going to be taking that bath? Is it finally going to be sewing a button on on a sweater and watching your favorite program on TV or doing a meditation or whatever, doing nothing, saying this is my unscheduled time and I'm going to allow myself to do nothing or whatever, is there in the moment. I know it feels so almost counterintuitive to be and heresy to be saying all this, right? But the bottom line is to explore what brings you joy, slow down enough so you can learn more about what brings you joy and practice it.
Many other tips that we can share about how to tap into your feminine for sure. But I think these that we just shared are a really good starting point that people can take and can do for sure. So I would invite our listeners to really reflect on what are the things that I can do or be to honor my feminine.
I like that. How can we honor the feminine today? And I noticed you just got this new beautiful picture on your wall. And I feel like that's a way you're honoring the feminine as well.
Yeah, and that picture represents me being in my feminine too. So this is like, yeah, that's my little pleasure, is being able to look at that picture and just be filled with joy. So, bring in little things in your environment of every day that sparks joy for you. As well as all the beautiful things you shared today about how can I honor more my feminine? How can I be more mindful? How can I just breathe and connect to my body and be fully present? So journaling on this question, it's like, what are the little things I can do to honor my feminine today? Is just meaning it's possible. It doesn't need to be this mountain you need to hike at the top of. Like, you can start being your feminine with just tiny little practices that you are in the center.
Yay.
So beautiful. So, Laura, do you want to pick one card for us today from your beautiful deck?
Oh, sure. Let's see, we're talking about the feminine power cards. And so I have a deck right here. I'm just going to open it up to one and see. It's so perfect. It's so perfect. Joy is the path to love.
Love how these cards are so synchronized with our conversations. I don't even select them. They just come up.
I just opened it up. And what it is, the back, and so the front has a feminine power principle and the back has a practice. And this practice happens to be a star and a smiley face, which means something to do and an affirmation. So the smiley face means the affirmation. Here's the affirmation. Joy is my birthright. I choose joy. Joy is my birthright. I choose joy. So the action is to choose one thing today that will cultivate joy. And here's some examples include light candles or bathe or sing, dance, walk by the water or smile. Just smile can bring joy to your body. Just bring that sensation in once or twice today.
That's so beautiful. And it connects so well about those little pleasures that you can add and sprinkle throughout your day and just enjoy it, right?
And
That's totally so beautiful. This was our episode, and we talked about if you are ready to be in your feminine. And we just shared all the signs that made you realize that you are in balance, and then the sign that you are ready to be in your feminine, as well as few little tips and tricks and practices you can implement today to be and to start to honor your feminine.
We welcome your questions and have some amazing gifts for you
at femininepulse.com.
Thank you for being part of our community.
Listen to the next episode of Feminine Pulse on your favorite podcast app.